Life is full of strange things that are sometimes hard to believe, and there are many events that occurred over a period of time that made everyone who heard of them not believe them. In this report, we will present to you the strangest coincidences that happened in a way that is difficult to believe, but it is real, and it should be noted that there is no room for coincidences in this life and that everything is from the measure of God Almighty, and the use of the word coincidence as an expression of what people understand. A bullet kills a person several years after it is fired. In 1838, a man named Henry Ziegler lived, and he was shot. The story began when he abandoned his girlfriend so that she committed suicide because of that, so her brother decided to take revenge on him and shot him, and then he committed suicide too, but fortunately for Henry, the bullet only scratched his cheek and hit the tree. After a few years, Ziegler decided to visit the location where he almost died, believing himself to be the luckiest man on the planet. And when he reached the tree that was hit by the bullet, he wanted to get that bullet out of it to keep it, but he couldn't do that with the simple equipment he owned, so he brought 2 sticks of dynamite and put them in the tree because he thought it was the best and easiest way to extract the bullet, and when the dynamite exploded, the shot went straight from the tree to his head and killed him instantly, and so this bullet killed Ziegler several years after it was fired at him. Shipwreck survivors. Many people have died in shipwrecks throughout history, but what is the secret behind Hewilliam's name that allows him to survive each time? In the year 1767, a ship sank in Davos, and there was only one survivor named Hewilliam. In the year 1820, a ship capsized in the Thames, and the only survivor was also Hewilliam. And in the year 1969, a ship sank in the monastery of Police, and there is only one survivor named Hewilliam. And the ship was destroyed by a German mine in the year 1940, and all but 2 people died, the first named Hewilliam, and the other was his nephew, also named Hewilliam. Brother's death. In the year 1975, there was a man driving a motorcycle in Bermuda, where he collided with a taxi and was killed. After 1 year, his brother decided to pay some money to repair the bike that was the cause of his brother's death, and on the day he finished repairing the bike, he set out on a tour of the same area, but the sad and strange thing at the same time is that he was also hit by a taxi and killed, and what may be unbelievable is that the taxi that killed the first brother is the same, and the driver is also the same, and the most strange thing is that he was carrying the same customer both times. A man saved 2 children who fell on him. In the year 1937, a mother was standing on the 4th floor of a building in Detroit when her child fell from her. Fortunately, there was a person standing under the building named Joseph Vicklock who was working as a cleaner. The baby fell on him and hit him in the head and shoulders. The baby survived, and Joseph sustained some minor injuries. A year later, another mother was living in a tall building. Her 2-year-old son also fell out of the window. But the strange thing was that Joseph Vicklock, the cleaner, was also standing directly under the window, and this child also fell on his head and shoulders, and for the second time the child survived and Joseph sustained minor injuries as well, and this is one of the strange coincidences that the man was at the right time and place, and also that the 2 children fell from a high place on the same man during 2 consecutive years. The king and owner of the restaurant. The first Burton, king of Italy, decided to visit a restaurant in the city of Monza with General Ed, and after searching they found a suitable restaurant for them. While looking at the menu, the owner of the restaurant came to take the king's request, and then the king and the owner of the restaurant realized that they were twins, not only with similar faces but also from a physical point of view, and during the conversation between them they also realized that they were born in the same year and day and in the same country. And that they also married women named Margarita, and not only that, but on the same day that the king was crowned in Italy, the man who looks like him opened his restaurant. On the 29th of July of the year 1900, the king was informed that his likeness had been killed in a shooting accident, and he came to offer his condolences. The king was also assassinated by the anarchists of the gathered crowd, and this means that they also died in the same year and today. Twins, the first died so that the second could be born. Enzo Ferrari, the famous founder of the Ferrari company, died in 1988, and on the same day of the same year, the famous soccer player Ozil was born, and looking at the two pictures, you can almost not differentiate between them due to the great similarity in shape, which is very strange between these two people. Some think figuratively that Ozil is the new Ferrari, who is back in the form of a footballer.